Hi, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Miss Farah back here again. And in our class for today, right now, we are going to do a replacement class for our Wednesday class. And I hope you guys are ready because in our class for today, we are going to talk about essay writing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys can come back here whenever that you guys are confused or you do not know about how to write, particularly in introduction and also conclusion in your essay later, because in this UHL 24 sorry UHL 2442, towards the end of the semester you guys will be tested with an opinion based essay in which it carries about 25% of your coursework marks. So this class is very, very important because it's going to be about 25% of your marks and it's going to be very huge. And I hope that you guys can come back here to this video if you guys are still confused on writing essays. However, ladies and gentlemen, what we really want to focus on in our class for today is mostly, first of all, I'm going to introduce you to different types of essay writings. And in general, we are going to know how to write introductions and also conclusions in academic writing. Before we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I actually uploaded a textbook in your Microsoft Teams. So let me just demonstrate to you guys where you can go and find the textbook itself. So if you go and open your Microsoft Teams, please do click on our class here. This is UHL 2442 with Miss Farah on a preliminary semester. All right. So if you click on files over here, click on materials and resources, you can see that there is a PDF document that says Writing Academic English. This is a very wonderful textbook, and I share with you guys on a few things over here. Now, if you guys have the extra time later by yourself and you would like to do a bit of self study, you guys can download this PDF. You guys can also go through all of these things that there is in the textbook, and you can see that there are some of the things that are already taught to you guys, such as types of sentences. You guys can go and check out those things as well over there, and you can see that there are different things. We have compare and contrast essay, we have cause and effect essay, da da da. So everything is here, so please go and download this and study it by yourself. And if you have any problems or questions that you would like to ask me, you guys can ask me here. But this is just like to show you guys where you can find the textbook. But essentially what I'm going to teach to everybody here is just basically a bit more general of writing essays itself. And I hope, and all of these are not taken directly from the textbook. However, most of the topics and the parts that they are in the contents of the textbooks are being taught in our class for today. So go ahead and self-study over there, and then hopefully you can enhance your understanding by listening to our class and our lecture for here today. Okay, so that is on your textbook. Just in case if you guys would like to refer to it, it is in the page of 72. Let's get started with our class for today. What we are going to learn about in our class for today, first of all, I'm going to very quickly show you guys different types of essays that you can find or you probably need to write in future in your university days. We also will be looking at on introduction. However, interestingly, today I'm going to show you guys a nice introduction in a visual medium over here, and then hopefully you guys can know how to write an introduction in written form, I also will be showing and demonstrating you guys on how to write a good conclusion as well today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started by talking about different types of essays that you probably will need to encounter in your academic life. Now, as per right now, many of you guys have finished and graduated from your high schools. Some of you guys are familiar with essays. Now, essays are basically a piece of writing that you write, and it's normally about 5 paragraphs. And definitely, in terms of the structure and also the format of it, you need to ask your specific instructor on how to write it. But for each different types of essay, they all serve a different objective and also a different purpose. So we do have actually more than what I have listed in this slide over here. But just to name a few to you guys here, we do have an illustrative essay. Now, for illustrative essay, for some of you guys, probably in high school, your teacher call it as expository essay. It has the same function, or it's just another name for it. We have cause and effect essay, where you want to show relationship of two things that are the causes and effects of a phenomenon or a thing. We have an argumentative essay, or some people call it as a persuasive essay. We have narrative essay, where it involves character, plot, setting, and a bit more fiction going on here. So, stories like Harry Potter and stuff like that, they are all narrative in nature. Um, and finally, we also have an opinion based essay, which is something that you guys will be tested on in this. At the end of this semester. So, I'm not going to talk about opinion based essay. This is something that I would like to teach with everyone in the class. So, we're going to talk about opinion based essay in week 6. I think it is only fair for me. And I think we all agree that face to face classes are better. And I hope that I can help you guys nurture your writing even more in the class. Hence, we are going to talk about opinion based essay in our class in week 6. So stay tuned to that. What we are going to study in the class today is something that is a little bit more general, but it does apply in your introduction and also conclusion in your opinion based essay later. So please do remember and also stay focused, so that you know that this will be somehow related to your assignment or your assessment, that is opinion based essay. All right, so before we get started, I really want to start with a bang. I wanted to start by showing you guys a trailer of a movie. When we are watching this trailer, I really want you guys to think about these specific aspects in the trailer that make you think that this is a very nice introduction to a movie. I don't know what you guys, whenever I decide if I want to watch a movie or not at the cinema, I normally would go and search for the trailer. Doesn't just matter, it doesn't really matter on in the cinema itself. Sometimes when we my friends and I, we decide to watch something on Netflix, one thing that we always do is just go and watch the trailer and see if we agree that this will be a good movie. So I always use trailer as a very nice way for us to decide whether or not we want to watch a movie. So a trailer for a movie is basically like a very nice introduction. So I want to apply the same concept in writing, but before we move into writing, I want you guys to enjoy this one movie. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. It's called Avatar, and it was like so long time ago. I think it was, yeah, it's in 2009. But to me, this is also one of the best movies, I think, in terms of the cinematography during that time, obviously, and also the plot and the details of it are quite good. I don't know, but you guys, have you seen this movie or not? Comment in the comment section underneath over here if you guys have watched it. But if you haven't, let's try to see the trailer all together. And if you guys can jot down, or if you thought about something that you felt, oh, this is going to be a good movie, or you think that you won't be interested in the movie, whatever kind of comment that you feel after watching this trailer. Why don't you comment down here, or you can share with me later to see how you guys would think about this trailer or this movie here. Let's watch this.
You Jake Sully? I'd like to talk to you about a fresh start on a new world. You'd be making a difference. I became a Marine for the hardship. I told myself I can pass any test a man can pass. All I ever wanted was a single thing worth fighting for.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are not in Kansas anymore. You're on Pandora.
You should see your faces.
We have an indigenous population called the Na'vi. They are very hard to kill.
This is why we're here. Because this little gray rock sells for 20 million a kilo. Their village happens to be resting on the richest deposit, and they need to relocate. Those savages are threatening our whole operation. We're on the brink of war, and you're supposed to be finding a diplomatic solution.
The concept is to drive these remotely controlled bodies called avatars. They're grown from human DNA mixed with DNA of the natives.
Marine in an avatar body. That's a potent mix. You get me what I need, I'll see to it you get your legs back. Your real legs.
Hell yeah, sir.
Looks like you. This is your avatar.
Just relax and let your mind go blank. It shouldn't be hard for you.
Jake, it's real simple. I want you to learn from the inside. I want you to gain their trust.
You should not be here. Go back. All this is your fault.
I need your help. Outstanding.
Haven't gotten lost in the woods, have you?
Did you forget what team you're playing for? Strong, prey on the weak, and nobody does a thing.
You got 1 hour.
You knew this would happen?
Everything changed. Jake, it's crazy here. Horich is rolling and there's no stopping him.
We're going up against gunships with bows and arrows.
Well, I guess we better stop him.
They've sent us a message that they can take whatever they want. But we will send them a message that this is our land.
Right, guys. So, have you watched this movie before? This is actually quite a fine movie, considering the time it was released back then. And James Cameron is the director of Titanic, so he is actually quite famous for his visions in his movies. And for 2009, the graphic and everything else that was produced in that movie is actually quite good. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. I think it's quite long as well. But essentially, most importantly, I guess, my question to you guys, do you think that this is an effective trailer? Do you think that you want to watch this movie? Is this your kind of genre when you go for watching a movie? So, to me, let's discuss about effective introduction again, relating to the trailer, because I believe that a good trailer will be able to catch the audience attention and wanting to go and watch the movie. So actually it really relates to what we want to do in writing as well, because the introduction in your writing will be the first impression that you will give to your readers, and it will be on their decision whether or not they want to continue reading your essay when they read your introduction. That is how I relate between movies trailers and also the introduction in your essay. But if we move back again, let's just step out back again and remember back again on what we watched in the trailer of Avatar just now. Now, do you think that this is an effective trailer? Why? So, if you notice that in almost all trailers, the objective is to actually make it very interesting, where they get a bit of everything in all kind of plot, in the introduction a bit, in the middle a bit, and the end of the movie a bit, just to illustrate or give your audience a bit of a sneak peek of what the movie is going to be. So by giving them a bit of here and there, it can enhance, or it can release this catharsis, the kind of mixed feelings and emotion, or really want to know, I really want to know what's going on. Is it going to be good? Is it, what's going to be next? What's the main character going to do? So do you think that the Avatar trailer earlier, does it give that same purpose or the same thing as I mentioned before? So that makes, you want to decide whether or not you want to watch the movie. So, to me, an introduction to tell you or your audience exactly what the movie is going to be, how is it going to be structured, and somehow making them feel like they are interested to watch the movie or to continue reading your essay. And that exactly what you want to achieve in your essay writing itself. You need to give them a bit of a sneak peek of what your essay is going to be, and why is it going to be interesting. What are you going to talk about, and what are you going to prove to them in your essay? So that would be the main objective of your essay writing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remember, when writing an essay, you need to bear in mind that it should only be for about 5 to 10% of the whole essay. So the length of it is very short, and it should be very condensed. Now, I will be showing you guys a format that everybody here should follow, so that when you write your introduction, it should have a nice flow, and it should help you guys to be able to achieve the right amount of cohesion to link between your ideas. And that will be something that we are going to talk about in a bit. Okay? So I think I've mentioned that an introduction really needs to be very interesting, because you want to make sure that your readers are hooked into your essay, and making sure that they really want to continue reading your essay, because as I mentioned, you're giving them the first impression of your writing. So your style of writing, your persona as a writer, and whether or not the depth of reflection that you gave in your writing should be able to be reflected in your essay, sorry, in your introduction itself. Okay, so let's talk about the structure in the introduction. So please remember that you need to follow this format. You need to follow, and you need to make sure that you have all of these structures and components in your introduction. And what's interesting is that no matter what kind of essay that you're writing, illustrative essay, cause and effect essay, argumentative essay, opinion based essay, it all has the same pattern, it all has the same structure, it all has the same format over here. Okay, so the general idea of an essay is to make sure that you write in your paragraph. Remember, it's only 5 to 10% of your whole essay, so it shouldn't be that much. Okay, so it should be about 100 words to 150 words. I would say 120 would be a nice number to it. um, but in your introduction, it should go from general to specific. So your first sentence in your introduction should be something that is very general, and finally, your last sentence in your introduction should be something that is very, very specific to one thing. And here there are three important things. Please remember that three important things you need to write in your essay. The first one will be a hook. Okay, so please start your essay with a hook. Now, a hook is to attract your reader's attention. You want to capture your reader's attention. So that is why you write a hook. Now, there are three ways for you to write a hook. First one is for you to start with a question. Okay, engage with your reader by asking an interesting question, a rather rhetorical question, so that they are engaging in a mental give and take in their brain when they are when they are reading your essay. So when you ask them a question, they'll be answering it in their brain or in their head, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm hooked with this essay. Now, the second strategy to write a hook is actually to provide an impactful statistic or a fact. By providing a fact, it can give your audience or your readers a sense of, oh, okay, that's interesting. I should read more, something like that. And finally, the third strategy to write a hook is by providing a quotation. So you can search online for anyone famous who have mentioned anything off the topic, and to make sure that the quotation or the quote to be quite interesting to put in your essay. Now, writing a using a quotation is actually one of my personal favorite back then when I was at uni. But the struggle of writing a quotation is actually because you have to find one quotation or one quote that is said by someone famous, and you cannot control that. So sometimes it's very limited because you need to make sure that the quote is accurate and really 100% describe what you want to talk about in the topic. So that could be very difficult. Now, the second component that you really need to write in your essay is to give some general statement or background of the topic. Okay, again, so the first sentence should be a hook. Then, in the middle, okay, the following sentence should try to narrow down the topic and linking it to the question, and also using the hook and relate back to the hook. And a very nice way is to provide information of the topic so that the readers should have a bit of understanding of the topic before they can proceed with the next paragraphs. And finally, the last component that you need to write in your introduction should be a thesis statement. Now, a thesis statement basically summarizes all of the points that you are going to talk about in your essay. So, if you have three main ideas or 3 points, your thesis statement should have 3 points or summarize the 3 points. If you only have two, your thesis statement should summarize the 2 points in one single sentence. Right, let me show you guys a sample of an introduction. Now, the topic that we're looking at today is some students who enroll in university studies have difficulties with their writing skills. Discuss the reasons for this problem and critically assess the effectiveness of the university prevention writing programs. Okay, so the first one here is to write a hook, right? Okay, so remember there are three important components that you have to write in your introduction. First one is hook. Number two is to give some background information. And finally, lastly, you need to write a thesis statement. So let's start with hook. As I mentioned, there are three ways to write a hook. And here, what I'm using is asking a question. As a student, have you encountered a situation where you do not know how to start your assignment? Have you experienced a writer's block and stare at your computer screen instead of typing anything? So, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to catch the reader's attention by providing some questions so that my audience or my readers, they are trying to engage with my writing by reflecting on these questions itself. Okay, next, I try to provide some background information. So I say writing skills are one of the important skills in university. This is because poor writing skills can affect the student's success in tertiary education. It is important that writing problems are understood so that university assistant programs are adequate. So I'm giving some background information and relate back again on the topic based on the question that is posed and given to me. Finally, I need to give a TC statement. So I write, therefore, this essay will identify and examine the main causes of underpinning students' difficulties with academic writing and consider evidence to evaluate whether programs delivered in universities address this problem. So, lastly, here I give a thesis statement of what I'm going to write in my essay. All right, so that is how you write an introduction. I know that this is a bit straightforward or not. It's actually, you only need three main components in your introduction. So for your Tuesdays, okay, so for your Tuesdays, um, task, okay, what I want you to do is I want you, okay, so you should be able to see it in your Microsoft Teams. If you click on week 5, okay, click on Tuesday, okay, there is an introduction, sorry, there is an instruction over here. Okay, so what you need to do for your Tuesday's class, okay, is for you to write an introduction. So remember, your introduction need to have hook, background information, and also a DC statement. Now, all of these should be about 100 to 150 words. Go to this Google Slides. Okay. Okay. What you need to do is to choose one of the question. For example, you're choosing this one. Okay. And then you should write your introduction over here. Click on the, okay. And so you write your hook, you write your background information, and finally you need to write your thesis statement. Now, all of these should be about 100 to 150 words only. Okay, so again, this should be your Tuesday's class. Okay, so it's not a lot, it's just 100 to 150 words. Okay, do this for your Tuesday's class. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with the next part because we have talked about introduction. Now, we want to talk about the conclusion. Let's talk about conclusions in academic writing. Now, an effective conclusion needs to bring together different sections in your essay and ended it in a well reasoned and logical note. Okay, so one thing that you have to remember is never, ever, ever include a new point, a new material in your conclusion. And the role of a concluding paragraph is basically to reiterate or to summarize back again your points in your body paragraphs. Okay, so instead, what you need to show us, okay, so it's actually interesting because the concluding paragraph is actually the opposite of your introduction. So if we have, okay, remember your introduction is an inverted triangle before you go from general to specific in the introduction, am I right? But in your conclusion, it's the other way around. You go from specific to general. So there are three components that you have to write in your conclusion. You need to start with restate of thesis statement. So basically go back again, like in your introduction, you have your thesis statement. You have to re-mention back again this thesis statement in your conclusion, where you summarize again your points in your body paragraphs. Number two, you need to give a bit of a general statement of the topic. And finally, your final sentence should try to give some suggestions or recommendations or advice of the topic. Okay, let's have a look at an example. So here, the question that we have, do you think that scientists should be banned from using animals in the lab. Okay, so you need to start with a restate of thesis statement. So again, the role of a thesis statement is to summarize on the main points. So to summarize, okay, so I say, in conclusion, although many argue that animal testing is unethical and cruel, but the benefits of animal testings, which include cheaper option and new discovery outweigh the disadvantage. So basically, I'm recapping back again on my points. Then I can give a bit of general statement. So I say animal testing is needed in a world that we live so that we can have more advancement, particularly in medical field. So something like a general, just like a one sentence that is very general. And then finally, you can write an advice or a recommendation. So you can say, however, it is still our responsibility to manage the animals in our care and follow the ethical guidelines that has been set by the authorities. To give you a bit of a general advice or recommendation based on the topic. So that is how you write one conclusion. So remember, even though over here it seems like it's three separate sentences, you need to combine it into a paragraph. Okay, so remember, when writing your paragraph, it should be something like this. Okay, so all of these should be in one single paragraph. Okay, so what I want you guys to do for your class on Thursday, okay, so for your Thursday class, I want you guys to open your folder. Okay, week 5 Thursday. Okay, similar to Tuesday's class where you write introduction, but for Thursday's class, you need to write conclusion. Okay, so remember, you need to have three components. Number one, restate of thesis statement. Number two, you give a bit of a general statement of the topic. And finally, number three, you give a bit of advice or recommendation. So go to here. Okay, click on the link of the Google slide. Okay, please don't get confused because one is on introduction and another one is on conclusion, but the topics are similar, though you can use the same topic. Okay, so you want to use the same one. Okay, but make sure this time around is for you to write. Okay, you need to give a conclusion. So you need to start with a restate of thesis statement. Then you give some general statement. Okay, and then you can give some recommendation or advice. Okay, so that is how you complete your tasks for this is for Tuesday and this one is for Thursday. Okay, so to sum up our lesson for today, okay, please study on the structure of an essay. I have uploaded actually in your Microsoft Teams. Let's go over there. Okay, so for to end our class for today, please go to week 5. Okay, go to Wednesday, and there is an extra note over here that says the structure of an essay note. Please go through this because this would be very important and crucial. Okay, for your opinion based essay later. So I'm going to start with your opinion based essay in our class on Wednesday, sorry, in our class on Monday in week 6. Okay, so please make sure that you study this before then. All right, that is all it for class for today. Thank you so much for tuning and coming to our class. It really means a lot to me as your instructor that you guys are here and doing your work. And I'll see you guys in class. Bye.